under the cloak of an ordinary day, a hiker embarks on a journey that will prove anything but common. Meet our modern-day explorer, a man of simple pleasures. He thrives on the rush of adrenaline that only the great outdoors can provide. He's the kind of person who finds joy in the rustle of leaves underfoot, the fresh scent of pine in the air, and the thrill of discovering new trails that wind through the wilderness like a labyrinth of nature's own design. Every weekend, like clockwork, he straps on his pack, laces up his boots, and ventures into the unknown, armed with little more than a compass and a thirst for adventure. His love for exploring is as boundless as the landscapes he traverses, and every journey is a new story waiting to be told. One crisp autumn day, he sets out on what he assumes will be another routine hike. The sun shines brightly overhead, the air is cool and invigorating, and the promise of discovery hangs in the air like an unspoken invitation. The trail he chooses is an unfamiliar one, a path less trodden, veiled in mystery and dappled with sunlight filtering through the canopy of leaves. As he delves deeper into the forest, the path grows narrower, the trees taller, and the silence more profound. The trail seems to beckon him, luring him further into the wilderness with the promise of something extraordinary. He feels a strange pull, an irresistible urge to follow the path and see where it leads. And so, he steps off the beaten track, drawn in by the allure of the unfamiliar, the promise of adventure. Unbeknownst to him, this detour is more than just a deviation from his usual route. This path, hidden in the heart of the wilderness, holds a secret that will soon transform his ordinary hike into an extraordinary journey. Little did he know, this was the first step towards an incredible journey through time. As he ventured deeper into the trail, an unusual sight caught his eye. A stone formation stood before him, its edges worn by time, but its presence commanding. It was not the kind of geological formation you'd expect to find in the middle of a trail. It was peculiar, almost otherworldly, with a certain allure that was impossible to ignore. As he approached, he noticed something even more bizarre. The air around the formation seemed to quiver, to shimmer like a mirage on a hot summer's day. A chill ran down his spine, yet curiosity pushed him forward. The stones hummed with a silent rhythm, a song as old as time itself, inviting him closer. Gathering his courage, he decided to investigate, to touch the stones that seemed to pulse with an unseen energy. As his fingers grazed the ancient surface, a sensation akin to a swift current swept through him. His surroundings blurred, the world spun, and for a moment, he thought he'd lost consciousness. But when he opened his eyes, the scenery was not what he left behind. The trail was gone, replaced by an unspoiled landscape, untouched by modern civilization. The air smelled different, fresher. The sounds were unfamiliar, the colors more vivid. The world was the same, yet completely different. Fear and disbelief gripped him. Had he lost his way? Was he dreaming? But the coldness of the stone under his fingers, the rustle of ancient trees, the distant sound of a river, everything felt too real to be a dream. He had stepped through the stone formation, yes, but he had also stepped through time. The bewildering realization dawned on him. The stone formation was not just a geological curiosity. It was a portal, a passage through the fabric of time itself. His heart pounded in his chest as he grappled with this mind-bending reality. He was a modern-day hiker, a man of the 21st century. And yet, here he was standing in an era long past, a world lost to history. Our hiker, now a time traveler, had taken a step back in time. As he looked around, he found himself in the midst of an ancient civilization. The world around him bore little resemblance to the hiking trail he had left behind. The air smelled different, fresher perhaps, and the noise of modern life was conspicuously absent. Instead of the concrete and glass structures of the 21st century, he was surrounded by a breathtaking array of architectural wonders. Imposing stone edifices rose high into the sky, their intricate carvings telling tales of a time long past. These were not the haphazard constructions of an emerging society, but the carefully crafted works of a civilization that had reached its zenith. The people, too, were fascinating. Dressed in attire that seemed to echo the colors of the earth, they went about their daily lives with a simplicity that was both intriguing and endearing. He observed craftsmen at work, shaping the natural materials around them into tools and artifacts. There were gatherings of elders discussing matters of importance, and children running about, their laughter a universal language that required no translation. The culture was rich and vibrant. He could see it in the communal meals, the lively music and dance, the reverence for nature, and the deep respect for elders. It was a society that valued harmony, community, and the wisdom of experience. The civilization he had stumbled upon was not just ancient but timeless. It was a testament to human ingenuity and resilience, a living, breathing chronicle of our shared past. The historical significance was profound. He realized he was seeing firsthand what many historians could only dream of, a snapshot of life as it was lived thousands of years ago. As he immersed himself in this ancient world, he felt an overwhelming sense of connection. He was not just a visitor, but a participant in a grand historical narrative, a witness to the enduring spirit of humanity. The experience was humbling, awe-inspiring, and utterly unforgettable. As he wandered through the ancient streets, he knew he was walking through pages of history. It wasn't just the civilization that held secrets, but the artifacts he found were tales in themselves. As our intrepid hiker delved deeper into this forgotten world, he stumbled upon relics and artifacts, each more fascinating than the last. These weren't just objects, they were silent storytellers, whispering of a civilization lost to time. Imagine the thrill of discovering a beautifully crafted amulet. An intricate design etched into its surface revealed the high level of craftsmanship possessed by this ancient society. The amulet wasn't just a piece of jewelry, it was a testament to the artistic prowess and cultural identity of the people who once wore it. Then, there were the pottery shards. At first glance they might seem like broken bits of clay, but to our hiker, they were fragments of everyday life. These shards, once parts of vessels for storing food or water, gave him a glimpse into the ordinary yet essential aspects of this civilization's daily existence. But perhaps the most intriguing of all was the collection of inscriptions. Carved into stone tablets, these cryptic symbols were the civilization's written language. Though indecipherable to our hiker, they held the potential to unlock profound secrets about the society's history, beliefs, and knowledge. The thrill of holding a piece of history that could rewrite textbooks was an electrifying experience. Throughout his exploration, our hiker was filled with a sense of reverence. These were not mere objects, they were historical treasures, each holding a piece of the civilization's soul. Their preservation was a testament to the society's resilience, and their discovery a privilege. Yet it was the process of piecing together these fragments of history that truly captivated our hiker. Each artifact was like a jigsaw puzzle piece, fitting into the grand tableau of this civilization's past. The amulet, the pottery shards, the inscriptions, they all contributed to a narrative that had been silent for millennia. Each artifact was a piece of a puzzle, painting a vivid picture of a time long gone. The physical remnants of the past, touched and studied by our hiker, breathed life into the story of this fascinating civilization, enriching our understanding of human history. With a heart full of memories and a mind filled with knowledge, it was time for our time traveler to return. Our hiker, now a seasoned time traveler, stood at the edge of the ancient city, his eyes tracing the familiar path that led back to the portal, his gateway home. His steps, though heavy with reluctance, carried him towards his destination. With each footfall, he was leaving behind a world that had become as dear to him as his own. His journey back was a mirror reflection of his arrival, but now, the mysterious woods, the winding trail, they all seemed familiar, like an old friend. As he moved closer to the portal, the sounds of the ancient world began to fade, replaced by the distant hum of his own time. The rustle of leaves beneath his feet was now a stark contrast to the stone-paved streets he had walked in the bygone era. His heart pounded in his chest as the portal appeared before him. Inhaling deeply, he stepped forward, the cool rush of the portal enveloping him, pulling him back into his own time. The sensations were overwhelming, a rush of sights, sounds, and feelings. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. He was back in the present, back in a world that was his, yet felt strangely alien. He stood there, his body tingling with the remnants of his journey, his mind teeming with the knowledge and experiences of a time long past. The relief of returning was palpited with a pang of nostalgia for the world he had left behind. He was no longer just a hiker. He had walked the streets of an ancient civilization, had been a part of their lives, even if for a brief moment in time. He was now a witness to history, a time traveler with an incredible story etched in his heart, a story that would forever color his perception of the world. Back in his own time, he was no longer just a hiker, but a witness to history, a time traveler with an incredible story to tell.